Well, that wasn't the prettiest win, but it was a win. And the thing is, these back-to-backs, that they're a mental test and a physical test. And we walked out of here 19 hours ago before the tip at 1:00, and we really challenged the guys that, let's be the most energetic team. Let's break their will. And we said it may not happen early, but it may, we don't know when it'll come. But, if you look at that, we kind of broke their will right when they, right down the stretch with, I don't know, inside that 8-minute timeout, went on that run to kind of finish them off. So it was a really good win. Again, wasn't pretty, but it was a win we really needed to get.
Coach Jared McDonald with the Daily News here. I know Coach Stansberry always says taking things one game at a time, but back-to-back sweeps now. You guys are alone atop the East Division standings, and the goal is obviously the Conference USA championship, and you want to go in as the top seed. I guess how important is it, to get these sweeps and especially this weekend to come away with this one in order to try to do that?
Jared, you're exactly right. In order to win the league, you've got to mix in some sweeps, and sweeps are. People don't realize how hard it is to sweep a team. For example, if you took the SEC or the ACC, any of those Power 5 leagues, and you matched up two teams from the league and had them play on a Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, whatever it may be, man, it's hard to sweep somebody. That's why in baseball you don't see that many sweeps. So, but I thought today, our guys just really took care of business. I thought Charles was Charles. He had a tremendous day and really dominated the paint. But I thought two guys that stood out were Kenny Cooper and Jordan Rawls off the bench. And in a game that, both teams were physically tired, their play off the bench I thought was really the difference in winning and losing.
Coach, this is Caden Gaylord from the Herald. Milton C shot 13 more shots and had 7 more offensive rebounds, and you all still won. So, what was it that you all were doing that kept them from, missing so many shots?
Well, our first shot defense was pretty good. I mean, we kind of made a change defensively going into the Marshall game where we put more pressure on our guards to do a better job on the ball and be more aggressive in terms of getting into the ball, and getting up, squeezing up into the ball and not getting beat off the dribble. And this was a team that drives the ball. But our guards were really good at doing that, I think, the entire game. And then, man, it's just when you have Charles waiting back there in the paint, you remember now we had at Mississippi State, we had Jarvis Finardo, the NCAA's all-time leading shot blocker. So we've seen all us guys from that background, Coach Stansberry, we've seen what can happen when you have a rim protector. And it just affects everything. When he's waiting, I think he had 5 blocks, but how many shots did he alter? How many times, if I've got the ball in a post and he's guarding me, do I hesitate to even make a move? So he's the core of our defense, the way he protects the rim. But our guards have done a really good job of guarding the ball the last 2 weeks.
Coach Jared with the Daily News again. You mentioned Kenny Cooper as one of those difference makers tonight. It's the most minutes he's played since Louisville. And, it was efficient, 9 points, a career high at Western. He does it on 2 of 2 shooting, 1 of 1 from 3-point. 4 free throws made. That's how many attempted, no turnovers. What did you see that made him so effective tonight?
Well, first of all, he's a really good player. I mean, we know all about it. We know what he did at Lipscomb, and he's coming here. And we have 2 really good point guards. I mean, it's just in Davion McKnight as well. Those 2 guys are really good. And I think with Coop is he's such a strong young man and tough and physical. And if you look back, the last 2 series we played, look at the point guard from Marshall West and the point guard today, Schuler. They both put so much pressure on the ball when you're guarding them because they can get to the rim and they can score. And then what Middle did a really good job of was pressuring the ball. I think they had, they didn't have Schuler on the ball, but they had the other big guard, Davis, on the ball, and he did a heck of a job putting pressure on. So he just physically wears you down. And I thought Dave was maybe a step slow today, kind of like last Sunday. But when you're going up against those kind of point guards, it's going to happen. But what Coop came in, he did what he did last Sunday. It was kind of the second day turnaround. He had fresh legs. But the thing he's done, he hadn't let his mental, his mental preparation hadn't slipped any whatsoever. He's had a great attitude. And when you keep your attitude where it is, when you get your opportunity, you produce. And he did that tonight on both ends of the floor.
Coach, in the first half, I believe you all only took 4 free throws, and in the second half you took 18. So what was the switch that allowed you all to get to the free throw line so much the second half?
Well, we probably ran in the first half. We ran more motion, tried to keep the ball moving, and just tried not to get it. Because what they made a good adjustment. They came out today and really pressured the ball. They tried to, on all of our set plays, they tried to deny the entry to the first guy who received the pass. They did a good job of that, and it kind of made us. It kind of made the first half an ugly first half. We just got out and did a good job in transition. But the second half, we're gonna try to slow down and get the ball where we want it to go a little better because we're playing in front of our bench. We just try to attack them inside. I mean, that's our strength, going at them inside with Charles and Carson. So we got that going. I think Charles got 4 free throws. I think he went 3 for 4. But he got 4 free throws just off the little high-low action where he's posting up, and they fouled him on the post-up because he's just so hard to guard in there, and he draws fouls. But then we drove the ball too. Started the second half with Tay, drove that ball baseline and got the foul line and hit 2 shots. So we've got a team, like we talked about yesterday, that draws fouls.
Coach Jared with the Daily News again. We've talked about Josh being an energy guy in the past, including yesterday. There was a stretch in the first half where you guys hadn't scored in over 4 minutes. We're 1-9 from the field during that stretch. And he comes away with a steal and dunks it. You guys continue on a 9-0 run, hold them scoreless for 5:26. How important was that play and creating some energy for you guys and pulling away?
Well, Jared, that's what Josh does. I mean, he's probably, on this team. I know the fans love him, in Bowling Green because he's so athletic and he makes so many spectacular plays. But then there's so much more to his game than just his athleticism. And our grad assistants keep what we call an MVP chart. It keeps deflections. I mean, he gets his hands on so many balls. He gets so many deflections. He may not get the steal, but he may get the first deflection. He's quick. He's guarding. He's going back and forth playing the wing and the power forward spot. So he's got to make those changes and all the difference in maybe a switching at one spot where he wouldn't the other spot. But he's a real playmaker, and he's an energy guy too, man. He's not the most talkative guy, but man, he plays so hard, and he's really an unselfish young man. He wants to win. Everything about him screams, "Let's win this game," and that's what we love about him.
Coach, I know this might be a little too early to ask, but if Old Dominion can't go next week, do you think you all will try to, get some non-conference opponent to be able to fill in that time slot on Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be allowed to because we played our full slate of non-conference games, so that would be a conference decision, and I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but the difference in us and some of these teams, I think like St. John's played a non-conference game this weekend when they lost a conference game. The difference with us is we played all our non-conference games. We played a full limit of non-conference, so I think that would probably be a conference decision. We would play if we had opportunity. We would. I know how Coach Stansbury is. He'd want to try and find somebody to play. Look, I mean, think about, Talvis and Zach scheduled that Alabama game in about 48 hours notice. So we would go play anybody anywhere. But I don't know if the conference would let us with the way this thing's shaking out.
Coach Jared with the Daily News again. 13-4 now. It's the best record the program's had since 01-02, nearly 2 decades. I know 13-4 and the best record since 01-02 is not the goal for you guys, but what does it mean to you guys to be at that point, at this point in the season?
Well, to do it with the schedule we played, I think is even more impressive. And we're trying to figure out these back-to-back weekends. And the first 2 weekends we were right there, but we didn't finish. And we could have finished those first 2 weekends off as well. But we finally turned a corner, and now our guys know, hey, we can sweep. And so it's like you said earlier, Coach Stansbury's, and I've been with him a long time. He's day to day, and we don't get too high, too low. He has always has coached that way, and look at his track record, very successful doing it that way. And he likes to always says avoid those ebbs and flows, those valleys, and those getting down in the valley and getting up too high. And that's the key with this team. Just keep taking it day to day.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
Thanks, guys.